Hello everyone, my name is Viraj. I am a second year graduate student at UIC's Medical Biotechnology program at Rockford. Currently, I work in the NITIS lab which focuses on cellular proteins called topoisomerases. My research project primarily focuses on genome destabilizing and oncogenic mutations in topoisomerase 2. I shall first describe what DNA topoisomerases are and then go on to describe their role in genome destabilization and cancer. As you all can see, a human body is made up of trillions of cells, each of which consists of a nucleus containing the complete set of chromosomes. Efficient packaging and access of this genetic material is very important, and it depends on proper control of the DNA superstructure. Some of the largest physical rearrangements of the genome occur during DNA replication and mitosis, as sister chromatids are synthesized, condensed, and segregated into two daughter cells. The double helical structure of DNA presents a challenge to these transactions, resulting in various forms of topological structures such as supercoiled DNA, chromosomal entanglements or knots, and intertwined replicating rings or catenanes as shown in the figure here. There comes the role of specific enzymes called DNA topoisomerases, which are required by the cells to resolve topological stresses in DNA. They do so by initiating transient single or double-strand breaks in the DNA via trans-esterification reactions, depending on the type of topoisomerase. My research primarily focuses on type 2 topoisomerases or TOP2, which exist as two isoforms, TOP2 alpha and TOP2 beta in humans. Next, we shall look at how TOP2 is able to catalyze such reactions. TOP2 catalysis involves introduction of transient double-strand breaks in DNA via formation of covalent DNA-protein intermediates as highlighted in the figure. TOP2 targeting anti-cancer agents such as etoposide trap TOP2 during its catalytic cycle and prevent the enzyme-mediated religation of this break. The consequence is a DNA double-strand break with TOP2 covalently bound at the site of enzyme-induced break, which can lead to genomic instability and cell death. However, there also exist other mechanisms which can stimulate TOP2-mediated DNA damage, as we can see in the next slide. So apart from the action of TOP2 targeting anti-cancer agents such as etoposide, specific mutations in the protein or structural alterations in the DNA can also trap TOP2 on the DNA, leading to elevated levels of the trapped enzyme and thus DNA damage. In fact, specific mutations in TOP2 have been identified as DNA damaging that can lead to elevated levels of the trapped enzyme. One novel method that we have come up with in order to identify such mutants in TOP2 has been described in the next slide. DNA damaging TOP2 mutants can be identified as they fail to grow efficiently in homologous recombination repair deficient yeast strains. This can be explained because the mutant human enzyme, when expressed in yeast, damages DNA in a way that results in the requirement for recombination repair pathways. When such pathways are deficient, such DNA damaging mutants fail to grow efficiently. Apart from these in vivo effects, such mutants are also known to lead to elevated levels of drug-independent cleavage of DNA in vitro. So using this strategy for identification of DNA damaging mutants, we decided to analyze a few recurrent mutations in TOP2. A subset of recurrent oncogenic mutations in TOP2 alpha and TOP2 beta have been reported in databases such as cBioPortal and COSMIC. As highlighted in the figure here, adopted from cBioPortal, for the TOP2 alpha isoform, several hotspots spanning across different protein domains was observed, while for the TOP2 beta isoform, a clear mutation hotspot in the region of R651H was noted. Another database, COSMIC, reported the mutation K600T in TOP2 beta as a recurrent mutation, especially in GI tract tumors in humans. Having described these potentially oncogenic recurrent mutations in TOP2, we hypothesize that specific mutants in TOP2 can generate elevated levels of trapped enzyme, and the resultant proteins can lead to genomic instability that may drive oncogenesis. In order to test this hypothesis, the method that we adopted was a three-step approach. To elucidate the role of somatically altered TOP2 in human oncogenesis, we planned to generate a few of such recurrent point mutations in yeast TOP2 and human TOP2 and to assess for their DNA damaging potential as well as for further biochemical characterization. Here, I would like to highlight that yeast and human topoisomerases are very homologous and most of the mutations that I am analyzing are precisely conserved in yeast TOP2. As described in the figure here, Gibson assembly-based site-directed mutagenesis method was used to construct the mutant alleles in respective vectors, and they were introduced in wild-type as well as RAD52 deleted strains of yeast. The RAD52 defective strains of yeast are highly sensitive to etoposide, and RAD52 is also known to play an important role in DNA double-strand break repair in yeast cells. By comparing the transfection efficiency in both the strains, the DNA damaging nature of the mutant can be determined. Based on this approach, I shall now first describe some preliminary results from NITIS lab in the next slide. So previously, the lab identified two independent DNA damaging mutations in yeast TOP2, TOP2RG and TOP2RGFY, as shown in the panel A of the figure, where we were able to introduce it into wild-type cells but not in RAD52 deficient cells of yeast. Further characterization of one of these mutants, TOP2RGFY, revealed that it generates a unique mutational pattern comprising of 2 to 4 base pair duplications as highlighted in the figure in panel B. A similar mutational signature was noted in gastric adenocarcinoma cells carrying the mutation K743N in human TOP2 alpha elsewhere, suggesting the potential role of this mutant allele in DNA damage. We imagine that TOP2 may contribute to oncogenesis by mutations that increase its likelihood for generating genome instability, and hence we began analysis of a few of such mutations beginning with K743N. As you can clearly see in the figure, the mutation K720N in yeast and the K743N in human TOP2 alpha was noted to be DNA damaging as they grew in wild-type yeast cells but failed to grow in RAD52 deleted yeast cells. Next, we started with biochemical analysis of these proteins with the very first step being their purification. Appropriate vectors expressing the TOP2 proteins were introduced in yeast cells, grown, induced with galactose, harvested, and the cells were lysed. Nickel affinity-based purification strategy was used to purify the His-tagged proteins. The gel image shown here is a result of such purification with various fractions such as the total cell lysate, unbound fractions, wash fractions, and finally the eluted fractions. The purified proteins were then analyzed biochemically. First, the catalytic activity of the purified mutant protein was examined by standard plasmid relaxation assay. This assay measures the ability of the purified protein to relax negatively supercoiled plasmid DNA via strand transfer mechanism. Both the wild-type and the K720 and mutant proteins that were purified were active as seen in the figure, as they were able to relax the negatively supercoiled plasmid DNA. Also, the activity of the mutant is significantly less than the wild-type protein. Next, we assess DNA cleavage by the purified proteins via plasmid cleavage assay as shown in the figure here. In this assay, wild-type TOP2 can generate a linearized DNA in the presence of etoposide but not in its absence. However, when the same experiment is done using the K720N mutant protein, a very strong amount of linearized DNA was seen in the presence of etoposide, but linearized DNA can also be noted in the absence of etoposide. Even at lower concentrations of the protein, as you can see, linearization of DNA is noted even in the absence of the drug. These findings further confirm the DNA damaging nature of the mutant protein. Among the TOP2 beta mutations that have been reported, K600T mutant allele was clearly identified as DNA damaging. Looking at the figure, we can see that the mutant grew negligibly in RAD52 deleted strains while grew proficiently in the wild-type yeast cells. Finally, the R651H top2 beta mutant allele, which is mutated in more than 15 tumors and is the most common top2 mutation noted, is under analysis currently. Similar analysis was carried out for various mutant alleles in human top2 as well as yeast top2, and the results have been summarized in this table. So we found that the mutation K743N in top2 alpha and K600T in top2 beta are DNA damaging. Also, orthologous mutation of K600T in top2 alpha was also noted to be DNA damaging. So based on the results discussed, we can say that a subset of top2 mutations were identified as DNA damaging based on their inability to be introduced into repair deficient yeast strains. These findings also support our hypothesis that tumor cells can carry genome destabilizing top2 mutations that may function as oncogenic drivers. Possible therapeutic implications of these findings can be increased susceptibility of tumor cells carrying such mutant alleles to anti-cancer agents such as etoposide. Future work will emphasize on obtaining further biochemical support for this hypothesis. Finally, I would like to thank all the members of the NITIS lab for their guidance and support. I would also express my sincere gratitude to our collaborators at Duke University, Dr. Sujink Robertson and Nicole Stanchial, for their significant contributions to this research.